Ann Takamaki is Waifu Material, the more outspoken one and the only natural blonde in the game. In case you forgot, Ryuji uses hair dye. Ann is a key founding member of the Phantom Thieves, who is just straight up fire in more ways than one. Now here are 10 reasons why Ann Takamaki is Waifu Material. Whoa. Starting off, let's talk about her unique appearance. I know, she hates talking about her looks, but it's simply what externally sets her apart from everyone. With a Japanese surname like Takamaki, it's a bit surprising to learn that Ann is actually 1/4 American. She's got a nice pair of, bright eyes, yeah. She also has a very pronounced nose. Combined with that platinum blonde hair, you would hardly think she was Japanese. Her hair is often worn in a twin pigtail setup, going just past her shoulders. Her usual attire is a customized version of the school uniform, wearing a striped white hoodie underneath her black school blazer. Barely seen under the hoodie is a school patterned skirt, along with bright red tights and some high-cut brown leather boots. Honestly, I'm not sure how they keep getting away wearing their uniforms like this. Ann is a model, at least a part-time model. Having a model for a waifu kinda has a nice ring to it. Frequently posing for fashion magazines, Ann really knows how to work it in front of a camera. Work it, girl. When asked about her beauty secrets, she says it all comes natural to her as she doesn't follow any diet or beauty routines, but is still presentable as ever. Even her main rival Mika gets upset at this, thinking that Ann doesn't take modeling seriously. What we can take from this is that Ann is a natural beauty, with a nice pair of eyes that keeps the boys like Ryuji staring. Ouch. The rival Mika was constantly sabotaging Ann's modeling career, mainly through misinformation. Up until one day, Ann confronted her to fight fair. At the end of her confident ranks, you could say that Ann finally acquired her fiery spirit to compete against her rival model.
I'd like a large, what? Extra thick!
Have you gained some weight?
As a professional model, you need to be really familiar with all the latest fashion trends. This means clothes. Lots of them. While visiting her room with Haru, just looking around the room you can already tell that her room is filled with all sorts of apparel. When Haru asked about a mysterious door in her room, she jumped to warn her, then us with a real panic.
I'm sorry, is there something important inside?
No, not really. But it would be a disaster if you opened it, so... Don't you dare!
Apparently it's a closet packed to the brim with her clothes. She mentions that if we were to open it, we might get slammed by an avalanche and get left with a sea of clothes. This waifu has more clothes than a department store. In the outfits that I've seen her in, my favorite is probably her winter outfit, the one with the classic football jacket. Known as Panther in the metaverse, she sports a tight red bodysuit with a devil's tail at the end. Ann seems cluelessly conservative, so personally this is quite a contrast. Ann is actually really useful in combat. She doesn't hit very hard, but her skills are invaluable. She has this useful sleep spell which allows you to hit enemies with some technical damage, good for knocking down opponents with no weaknesses. Funnily enough, Ann uses her seductive modeling skill in combat. Occasionally when an enemy is about to attack, Ann will strike a pose, stopping the enemy dead in their tracks. I mentioned earlier that Ann was just straight up fire in more ways than one. With this I meant literal fire. Aside from Joker, Ann is the only fire user in the group, a useful element for inflicting burn damage, which can also lead to those sweet technical knockdowns. The Persona English dubs have always been nothing short of amazing.
Try to stick your hand in there and get Teddy's attention. Dude, what just happened?
Something bit me.
Whoa! Anna left teeth marks too! Are you okay?
I might be dying.
No, you're not.
But realistically, these characters are speaking in Japanese to each other. It's based in Japan after all.
Damn, you speak Japanese?
As we observed the Phantom Thieves, we quickly learned that Ann has the superior English speaking skills amongst the group, considering she's lived abroad for a while. She's often the one reading and translating English messages for the group. While not totally fluent, it can give her the edge sometimes. During their school trip to Hawaii, Ann was quickly shown her value as people desperately invited her to be part of their group, just so that she can translate.
Takamaki-san, have you decided on which room to stay in?
No, not yet.
In that case, how about rooming with me?
I've never gone overseas before, so we thought it'd be reassuring if we had someone who knows English.
Oh, sure, of course.
If her anime version were to come to life, you wouldn't have to rely on subtitles at least. As I mentioned earlier, Ann is the most outspoken one in the group. This is mainly because she lived abroad a good chunk of her life. She's still adapting to the closed-off nature of Japanese culture.
I've lived here since middle school, but I never got used to how closed off people are.
Unfortunately, her attitude is considered strange, and has caused most of her classmates to stay away from her. However, it does come in handy for keeping Ryuji in check. As his childhood friend, Ryuji and Ann share a common past growing up in elementary school together, which explains their openness when they get reacquainted during the Kamoshida case, such as Ann making strange jokes and Ryuji's tendency to get angry and start fights. Ann is always the first to scold Ryuji.
Bring it on!
Ryuji, stop!
One thing is for sure, Ann simply loves to eat. When they defeated their first palace boss, I vaguely remember the hotel buffet being her idea. Like most young ladies, her favorite type of food are sugary sweets, in particular cake. During their initial trip to the buffet, Morgana pointed out that Ryuji was all about the meat, and while Ann was all about that cake. At other times, Ann talks about eating the latest food trends like crepes on Central Street. I'm still not sure how she stays so thin. During a date with Ann, we revisit the Wilton Hotel buffet. Learning from her last experience, she decides on a different tactic. Get one of everything. Can't say it's the worst idea, as I'm guilty of doing this as well. But man, Ann is the perfect partner to pig out at buffets with. I'm gonna make a serious declaration here. Ann's probably the best dancer in Persona 5. In fact, they probably made Dancing in Starlight specifically for her. She's really got the moves, with amazing poses and fluid hip and arm movement similar to a professional idol. Among the Phantom Thieves, she seems to enjoy dancing the most, saying that she gets lost in the moment, which helps her forget her worries. Now, I'm not an expert in dancing techniques, but I would say she has a conventional urban dance style with some added seductive flair. Her dancing outfit is also worth noting. I would describe it as trendy and maybe even a bit bold, such as her red top exposing her bare midriff. Accompany this with an oversized cap and red basketball sneakers, and you have yourself a true baller. Ann really cares for her friends, and goes above and beyond to provide her moral support. You can really tell just by the way she cares for her Shiho, her best friend. Don't they look so happy together? When Shiho got into an accident, nobody in the entire school was so quick to be by her side as Ann. And when they needed someone to accompany her to the doctors, Ann was also an instant volunteer. While Shiho was unconscious, Ann was constantly concerned with Shiho's condition. When Shiho finally woke up, Ann would frequently visit and cheer her on in the physical therapy sessions, adding some more reasons on why Ann is a real sweetheart. Despite her outspoken nature that we mentioned, we assume that Ann is considerate of Morgana, seeing that she entertains his simpleton ways. From blabbing about it openly,
She cares about her friends and she's beautiful to boot. What a girl. She's captured my heart. Impressive as ever, Lady Ann. You truly are studious. The pleasure is all mine, Lady Ann.
down to their showtime attack together. How much more obvious can you get? Don't be a Morgana. Ann is just one of those not too serious people you can have a good time with. Sometimes I'm not sure if she even thinks things through before saying them.
With a head that empty, you can pack in a lot of knowledge.
Wow, Makoto.
I think you're getting off topic.
Ann may not be the sharpest, but she's always the quickest to rally everyone towards optimism. Her optimism gives her the confidence to pull off her unique acting style. While endearing, it's also downright hilarious.
What kind of poses?
Lady Ann, you have to act. Get back in character.
Let's go. I was just starting to get in the mood.
And lastly, don't forget the time she transformed into British Ann.
I'm quite charmed to meet you, sir. My name is Ann Windsor.
Ann Windsor?
My father is the descendant of British royalty.
For real?
So what do you think? Will you be joining Ann at the Wilton buffet? Is she your waifu?
Before we get off, should we at least do one thing, you know, that couples do?
Be sure to leave a like and comment on what you think about Ann. Oh, and be sure to check out my other Persona 5 waifu videos as well.